How are we all doing? It is so good to have you here. What a week, huh? I presume we have a few Irish in the house? Any Kiwis? Get out. No, you're very welcome. It's good to have you with us. We like playing you now. So we're going to get our pundits out. Can I start with the man? I said to him backstage, I said, you come out first. He said, why? No, it's embarrassing. So I would say, 5-6 years ago now, we had a Heineken Cup match, and we had our commentary team ready to go, and they got sick. They weren't available. It was about an hour to kick off. We had nobody. I mean, we had tried everybody. And Dave McIntyre said, we could try Andy Dunne. I won't tell you what our producer at the time said. It was like, Andy Dunne? We got Andy Dunne. Turned out Andy Dunne's pretty much as good a pundit as there is in the world, I think you would agree. So we are delighted he's here this evening. He is mortified we're bringing him out first. Andy Dunne, everybody!
How are you doing?
It's great to have you here.
Thanks, Joe.
So listen, there is a general rule here in offload. Don't read the comment section. Except for you. You're the exception to the rule. Here's a glance. You're the only man on YouTube who has good approval ratings. So here's just a taster of what comes on every time you're in with us. Andy Dunne, best pundit in Ireland, no debate. Andy Dunne, take a bow. Lads, Andy Dunne never waffles, always to the point. The oracle has spoken. It goes on like this, your fan club. One night we had Brian O'Driscoll on. This is what came in. What would he know? Get Andy Dunne in! Stop censoring the goat!
I'll take it.
It's great to have you here. Take a seat.
Thanks, Joe.
We have two men who know what it's like to play against New Zealand, Irish internationals. Alan Quinlan, Gordon D'Arcy, everybody! Come on. Come up.
Where do we?
Come up.
You're over there, yeah. You want us to pop in over here?
Yeah, you move across. We don't have your approval ratings. We do have some of your...
The Leinster fellas over there.
Yes, exactly.
That's it.
We've some of your moments against New Zealand.
Not good moments, I don't think.
We've some of your moments. I'm in camera shot there, excuse me. So here's a bit of Quinny in action against New Zealand.
I told you they weren't good moments.
Well, my favourite is the next one, because this is just sheer desperation.
That's more like it now.
So what was the thinking there, Quinny?
I kicked the ball out of his hands, and as he was passing, I think they changed the laws after that match, because I tried to do it 3 or 4 times, and I got away with it. That was my last match in Croke Park.
See the guest backstage. Quinny just spent the whole from the green room all the way up there telling me exactly how in 2003 he single-handedly beat Argentina.
I did, yeah.
It's a shame you didn't have
Thanks, D'Arcy.
We have some of you in action against New Zealand as well. They were a physical bunch at times. Oh. And even at under 21 level, this is you against New Zealand. That kind of sums some of it up, I think.
That's Swampy, by the way, which you should ask him about later. His little alter ego at a younger age.
I'm going to do that. Let's have a little taster of our next guest. He needs no introduction, but just a little reminder of what he brought to the game of rugby. Have a look at this.
Pass off the Williams. Got it away. Beautiful to get over. Phenomenal. Doesn't Sonny Bill Williams make it look easy? Keeps the ball alive. Sonny Bill Williams holding it up beautifully for Quinny. Sonny Bill Williams gets a lovely ball away to Reed. You want it? Brilliant from Sonny Bill Williams.
Sonny Bill Williams, everybody!
Man. Here. Sit in there. I'll mind you. We get a Munster man to mind him here.
Yes.
Enemy territory, you're saying back there, so
This is
I might
enemy
have to move right
territory
next
for
to you.
me. You'll have to mind me, maybe.
How you going, guys? Great to be here. Great to be here.
Hey, it's great to have you here.
And it's funny,
yeah.
bro, that I was watching that clip. It's funny that you guys are watching it right now. I was watching it back at the hotel before I come here, so it's actually quite nice.
Well, the joy of all being here in person instead of via Zoom is we can get up. So still to this day, someone throws an offload and commentator will say, oh, that's a Sonny Bill there. So, rugby ball. Alan, I want you to stand up, and I know this is a stretch for you, Quinny. Try and think you're going to tackle him like you hate him, okay? Up you come. You're our tackler, Alan. Up you come, up you come. Okay, you can go about there. Maestro. And who do you want running off you? Andy or Gordon? Maybe both.
Who's the quickest? Someone, please.
You go on.
So, over to you. How does all this work in your
Firstly,
mind?
if there's any coaches out there with youngsters that keep pushing that pass, I apologize. You know how many people come up to me and say, bro, Sonny, I keep getting in trouble for the offload, but just like you, I'm going to keep going. So I apologize. But the way I used to play the game, although it looked kind of a bit too flashy at times, I always prided myself on doing the basics brilliant. And when it came to the offload, it was real simple. I'd just get three lads in the team. One guy would sniff up me. I'll call it sniff on me. Sorry, bro. I didn't mean to.
I've sniffed worse things than you, trust me.
And all it is I would practice. I would try and get past the defender. So I'd practice. I'd come off my right. And then he's sniffing, but you're popping up late saying left or right. And it was as simple as that. And yeah, then we'll do our rest. So sniff, and then tell me left or right also.
Sniff.
Boom, 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 boom.
Right. Oui.
And then boom.
Hey, simple as that.
That would have been so embarrassing if I dropped that.
So, and it was just that, and as basic as that is, it was that and repetition to try and become, great at the basics.
Yes. And what was so striking, and we saw it in the clips there, is you were always past the tackler.
Exactly.
Hands free.
So that was the key. The key was don't run to offload, run to break the tackle, and then the offload will happen naturally. So
Yeah.
and then you'd get the guys a bit like how South Africa. Please punch my. A bit like how you lads are playing at the moment. It's you guys know your DNA. You guys, Johnny knows. Where Bundy is going to be, where Ringrose is going to be, Porter and the likes, the quick hands. Everyone knows each other, knows your DNA. And for myself, I prided myself on getting next to Nehe Milner-Scudder and saying, doing that extra work with them. And I found that the keeping it is the more simpler I kept it, the more flashy it looked on TV.
Okay.
It helps when you're 6'4" as well. You've got big long levers.
Yeah.
And so you're playing against Sonny Bill. You know that's coming. When you're tackling him, is it tackle high? Is that what you're trying to do to him?
Probably wrap. If you go low on him, he's going to naturally accelerate through the tackle anyway because he's big fella. So he's able to do that one out of the tackle even if he's falling. So you try and wrap here as best you can, and then you get that one. So you're sitting on your backside. So it does help when you're bigger. I played with D'Arcy a good bit for Ireland, and he was an incredible stepper, to be fair, before contact. That was his big part of his game, and he would get through a lot, but he never fucking offloaded.
No. You'd hands like feet, Winnie. So there's a good chance you're going to drop it.
I tried to sniff him a few times, but the other side with the sniffing didn't work. He just kept crawling along. It's another couple of yards, and sometimes he went clean through as well.
When we were defending mostly New Zealand and kind of you in a couple of games, it was like you had to work in threes all the time, and that was the really frustrating bit because it was such an offload threat. So you talk, as you were calling the sniffing, we just call it the players would flood through as soon as somebody got to say a yard past the contact, the offload was on. So you're almost. Everybody then had to be hiding for the offload. So a lot of the times we would actually just throw to try and chop the legs out from underneath them. And then the second defender either side, you had to just basically go individual responsibility. There was no doubling up on it. You're basically going, if I go in to get this guy early, force the offload, the defenders either side have to beat them to the space and actually then when he's gone to that, it's not a Hail Mary. He's looked to see is he there, or he's heard the sniff from left or right.
Yeah.
But if the space is closed, that's one of the ways. But when it's a constant threat, you miss 2 of them, and suddenly it's 14 points.
And that's the key. That's why running to break a tackle was so important, because if you could break that a first tackle, then it was game on. It's a bit like Johnny Sexton this week. I think New Zealanders, they need to tackle him and everyone around him, because he just seems to keep making that right decision, bro.
Yeah, he does, yeah. And I think it's probably in their DNA more than ours, Joe, from a young age. And I think Sonny would probably agree with that. I played with Maffey and Topoki and Doug Howlett and Munster for a couple of years. And all they wanted to do was get someone behind them, running off them, doing the sniff scenario, and just see. They just wanted to attack people. And, it's a natural
Excuse the
thing.
sniff language.
Everyone's going to talk about that. That's going to go viral now
Yes.
tonight. But, it's in their DNA. And maybe it probably hampered. We all spoke about, we often heard about Northern Hemisphere rugby being a bit more kicking, a bit more direct. But, things have changed, and you've got to find little gaps and opportunities. Now, every side has a defensive coach, probably for the last 20 years. And they're usually rugby league guys who are coaching how to stop this. So one piece of brilliance in a tight game like an offload can win you the game.
And Sonny, I wanted to ask, was your offloading game always encouraged by New Zealand coaches?
No, not at all. I remember going on the field in 2-11, and Shags comes on the microphone.
That's Steve Hansen?
Steve Hansen.
Yeah.
And before I'm running on, he's saying, Shags wants to speak to you. I was saying, what's this bloke want to speak to me? Yeah, bro. Whatever you're doing, offload. Piss off, Run on the field. But then you fast forward to 2:15, and the game had obviously adapted and appreciated that, that subtle skill. I came from a game called Rugby League. I don't know if anyone knows that. I grew up as a
massive rugby league fans in Ireland.
Yes. So I grew up playing rugby league. It's a bit like would you call it Gaelic footy? So I grew up playing rugby league, and we were looked down upon from the rugby goers where I was from. So I kind of hated the rugby crowd, And then through necessity, I ended up playing rugby, and I wanted to prove myself at the highest level, which was in New Zealand. So I went back there and gave it a crack, and that's where the offload came from, the playing rugby league.
Okay.
Because everyone runs up high in rugby league. You don't, the forwards don't bend down and try to, get that LQB, lightning quick ball, so to speak. It was more about just, trying to make dents into the opposition, and that's how I played. And yeah, I had some really tough conversations with a lot of great coaches, but I stuck true to myself. And, I think in the end I won a lot of people over.
Yeah, so that's interesting. 2011 World Cup, it's not so sure about this. By 15, it's more encouraged. And I would say, Andy, you look at Ireland over the last decade, that has been the big difference. We're offload central now by comparison.
Yeah, I certainly in the Joe Schmidt era was hugely successful for a reason, in that he was dogmatic, and he was a bit of a dictator in terms of how he coached the team. But we became hugely successful. But we were very predictable because we were playing exactly how the team were coached and taught. And he actively discouraged offloads, a bit like that moment you shared with Steve Hansen, where I think there's a risk in that you become predictable, and there's a loss of control for the coach. And I think the greatest coaches are the people who empower. The greatest managers in any era or business or sport are the ones who get the best out of the individuals in front of them and empower them to make decisions on the field. And I think, I don't know the stats exactly, but I think our offload game has gone through the roof under Andy Farrell. And I think it's made us versatile and unpredictable and brilliantly attacking and brilliant to watch. It's not an accident.
From an outside back's point of view, how flat because you got the Mac. What a great name, eh? The Mac.
Yeah.
You got the Mac and James Lowe sniffing around.
Love a sniff.
But do you boys think, like from an outside back's point of view, it makes your job a lot easier how flat you guys play? I think it's great. Like, it's so cool seeing the Mac and James popping up or different places being able to get involved with the game a bit more. Do you think that's
Yeah, like it is, but I think it's. You talked about the lightning quick ball not really being as prevalent in rugby league.
LQB.
LQB, sorry, that's another.
LQB GT. Lightning, quick ball, good timing.
Hey, there you go.
This was not rehearsed. But like that flatness, they play it off the back foot. Like once Gibson Park is there, the ball has just moved away, and that it kind of they, as a result of that, have ended up not being able to get back deep enough that they probably want to. So I don't think it's a planned thing. I think it's just the ball is being shifted so quickly. If the attack isn't in position, like the perfect position, there's very little chance the defence is going to be in position. So that's the way Ireland have kind of focused. Is that shape they have, but they're all just about move the ball away from the breakdown and. And then you have players like Mac Hansen and James Lowe, and you just.
We should have got Sam Prendergast here tonight after your tweet, the Ireland '20 fly half. Do you remember tweeting about him?
Yes,
when he played
yes.
Wales?
Oh, he's special, man.
That was the just came to mind there. That was incredible.
You know what I love? I love seeing kids express
He's big
themselves.
though and tall as well.
About 6'4", yeah.
He's not bigger than me.
Big long lever. He's tall.
I love seeing the kids express themselves, and you know the last under 20, last two under 20. Is it under 20 or under 19?
Under 20. Yeah.
Like I really enjoy watching that because the flavor that they bring out there, it's just these kids just playing, you know, and I feel like it kind of gets drummed out of them a bit.
Yeah.
And obviously it has to. You have to, you know, refine the game and whatnot. But I really enjoy seeing those youngsters play at that level, you know.
Before we do want to chat to you about your extraordinary life and times, Sonny, but Alan, Gordon, what's really striking this week is the way the Irish rugby public feel about New Zealand games. So 5 wins and 8 is territory we never thought we would be in. In your day, it almost felt like, geez, New Zealand, it's impossible.
Yeah, you look, D'Arcy has played many times for Ireland and never beaten New Zealand.
I've only toured once. I've only toured to one other country. It is pretty grim going to New Zealand in June.
Well, you know,
at the best of times,
you know,
and then not winning a game is like.
And probably the aura and we all grew up watching well, I did anyway. I don't know what the lads think, but you know, loved watching New Zealand, the haka, all that kind of stuff, and then suddenly you find yourself in New Zealand playing for your country against them, and it's hard to kind of shake off that these guys are, you know, the trendsetters. They've always win. They're top quality, continuously players you look up to. You see them on TV, and then you're playing against them, and you try to create that mentality within your dressing room that we'll be the first Irish team.
We never really did. It was like we got one of the things that really frustrated me playing against New Zealand, apart from getting heckled by like an 80-year-old woman. It's just like a fucking Zimmer frame, and it's like, get the ALBs. It's like, fuck off. Like the whole country makes you feel really unwelcome.
That was my nan, by the way.
Yeah. We still stay in touch.
But Ireland have got close against them.
We got so close, like properly. Like should have been 1 win and maybe a draw, like over a space of like, when did we start going? 2001 up till like what, 12, 13. And that was probably one of the best vintages of when Dan Carter came on the All Blacks. And like we just happened to be playing against one of the best vintages of the All Blacks in definitely the professional era and maybe ever. They always found a way not to lose, and that was really frustrating. So we won the game in the kind of, like, we played all the rugby, we did everything to win that game, but then they would find a way to just snatch it back. Like a McAllister ran over fucking somebody to
Raj.
Yeah. There you go.
No, and
I was being diplomatic.
The one you're thinking about is 06.
Yeah.
Ireland
and then the drop goal,
72nd minute.
Yeah, and the drop goal then.
Nanu runs over Stringer. Stringer is in the defensive line, and Nanu.
Yeah, so there's a couple of them. That characteristic has shifted a little bit, and I think we do have that now in the Irish mentality, which is really good. I think against South Africa, we'd one hand time behind our back. We didn't have our primary possession. We didn't think there's loads of things could go wrong, and lots of reasons for not to win that game, but they found a way to win. And probably more importantly, not to lose in the last 10 minutes.
And I don't think it's insulting to say that the All Blacks would have looked at us and got pack of paddies in town, and they never kind of Do you think
thought that this Irish team could beat them at any stage?
We went close and really close in 02 in Dunedin. It was the famous Adidas yellow ball that Rog missed a load of kicks. We lost 15-6 in Dunedin. John Oloma was playing. I was going to ask for his autograph after the match. But there was a couple of really close ones. 06 in Hamilton, that one was really tight. 08 in Wellington in a hurricane. My last game ever for New Zealand, or for Ireland against New Zealand, was in Croke Park, and we thought we could beat him. So, as D'Arcy was saying, maybe it was a mental thing for a period of time, and then we started to believe it. And obviously, the current crop, they just expect it now.
What is with the current crop? Do you think it?
You know, I met Keane Healy after a game in 2018, and he said to me, I said, "Well done," and he was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And he said, "We expected to win," and I was flabbergasted.
Do you reckon the influence of Australasian coaches being up here has helped that, or players as well, or what do you boys?
Probably, but I just think they've got better. I think that we started with offloads, but Ireland's, and Andy knows as well, the skill set has improved. I think the fitness levels, the strength and conditioning, and Ireland are starting to, and probably Joe Smith coming in here as well was really important part of that, is about changing that mentality and bringing some of that knowledge from the Southern Hemisphere to the Northern Hemisphere. Definitely.
The whole structure of the game here is really robust. There's brilliant school system. There's a good youth club system. So there's brilliant kids coming through all the time, and it's cumulative. So each year, it's like the 4 provinces have access to 10 academies each that they don't have to pay for because the school system is so good. And now you've got a coach. You've had a series of coaches with Declan Kidney winning the Grand Slam in 2009, Joe Schmidt coming in 2013, and they're different styles. But then you've someone, I think the biggest difference with this current group, and it sounds a bit flowery, is they're unbelievably contented, happy, motivated. The psychology of Andy Farrell is make them happy, coach them, don't babysit them, empower them.
Also, just treating them like adults.
Yeah.
So it's like gives them all the decisions. Like that traditional coach-peer relationship, which I would have coach-player relationship would have been like at the extreme at the start of it, where like the coach wouldn't even talk to players. He'd just be like, over there, you get a call when you're being dropped, and that's about it. And then it became a little bit more, involved. But now you're at the other end of it, where like they're actually just saying, well, what do you guys want to do? You want to go for a beer? Let's go for a beer. You want to bring your wives over? Bring your wives over.
In that environment.
Yeah, he's just there.
There's actually wonderful players as well. And like in fairness, there was a few times over the years where I sat on the bench for Ireland, or wasn't even in a 23, and I went, geez, this is a really strong Irish team. But I think, is this the best Irish team we've ever had?
Yes.
All those ones in a row suggest.
Probably, and like even in my position, the back row, like they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
It'll end this week
not just the top 3, but Jack Cohen and the guys behind him. So we've really good players. You need that, but it really is important what the lads are saying about how they're treated as well. And I think they're given the confidence to play.
The phone call getting dropped, I got it way more than the lads, by the way. Basically got it for 11 years straight. I remember when I was in Harlequins, Jason Leonard had just won a World Cup. He had over 100 caps. And I got to the Six Nations the following year, and he told me, I thought it was hilarious. Jason's a real East End London, sounds like he's in EastEnders. But he said at the time he had a young kid. It was about 5:45 in the morning. And Clive Woodward's kind of slippery style was ring people too early that they won't answer so he can leave a voicemail. So Jason was up. The child was crying. He was in the jacks, and he saw the phone. Clive Woodward at 5:45, and he grabbed it. Clive, how you doing? He goes, Jason, sorry, I didn't think I'd catch you. He goes, why the fuck are you ringing me then? To follow on, I said, you're not picked for the Six Nations. They all do it different, but it's mainly a bit slippery, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure. Sonny, you are our guest. Can I, if you'll allow, in too short a period of time, chat to you a little bit about your career, extraordinary career, if we could.
Hey, everybody. I hope you're enjoying this podcast so far. If you want the full version, unedited and ad-free, then go over to offthewall.com/join. and you can sign up to become an Off the Ball member there. That's also a good thing to do. And the best place to do it really is on our own app, because if you sign up on our app and turn on notifications, we'll be able to let you know the next time that we're doing one of these road shows, and you'll have an exclusive window of access to tickets to sign up. That's the first place where we release tickets for members only. Everybody had a great night. The interview with Sonny Bill Williams was absolutely sensational. It is available for members right now on whatever your podcast platform of choice is, either Apple Podcasts, the Off the Ball app, or on Spotify. Or, of course, you can get the full thing over on YouTube as well. Enjoy.